Ooh. Welcome, friends. Today, we're doing another live stream. And guess who's back? It's the motherfucking Bubbles. Bitch. How are we? I am fantastic and I'm doing really well. I am streaming a little late tonight because I have been at my friend's house and we have had a good chat about all things conspiracy. And I went to the shop and now I'm home. Had cottage pie for my tea, which was lovely. Even though it was cold, I think it actually tastes nicer when it's cold, if I'm being honest. And now I'm here having a stream with you. An hour later than usual anyway. I'm not usually into conspiracy theories, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think most of it's bollocks. I think people can't handle the fact that they live in a random, chaotic world that doesn't give a shit about them. And shit happens. In fact, it's much more likely that shit will happen than not happen. Do you know what I mean? If you wait long enough, every piece of shit will happen. Sorry. Galen wants to get a conversation started, but I wouldn't recommend it, not with him. Let's have a look. What are people saying? I don't know what people are saying, actually. I'm not even looking at the fucking chat. Sorry. I'll do that right now. Oh. Sorry. My mate's texting us and she's like, me cat's a creep. And I'm thinking, yes, cats are creeps. I have some extremely distressing news about fragrances. We'll come to that. Oh, I've got an itchy back. Oh, don't get itchy backs. There are many ghosts here, Natalia. Look out. Make sure they don't haunt you. Fragrance View is texting me and telling me that I am a terrible host, of which I have very little defense. So I won't. I won't defend myself. Oh, careful, careful, careful. Sorry, just putting the chat on so I can see it. Hello, Michael John. Hello, Phil Stevens. Phil Stevens fucking texting me earlier. Not even texting us, commenting on my video earlier saying, will there be a live tonight? Oh, God. Galen's just texted us now saying, let's get a conversation started. Sorry, Galen, I'm busy. I'm streaming. Hang on a minute, Galen's here. Shut up, Galen. Galen coming at us with like the fucking Matrix and 4D fucking hyper conversation. I can't be dealing with that many conversations at once. Cat in a hat. Yes. Hello there. Hello, Rich, says Antonio. Hello, Antonio. Hello, Imad Antonio. Oh, Imad. Oh, Imad. Sorry, Matt. Bubbles, 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 oh, bubbles. Hello, Rachel. How are you? What conspiracies? There was a boat that sank in 1994 called the Estonia, and fucking 852 people ended up dead. They said that it was one of those boats where there's like a visor on the front with a ramp to let cars on, and they reckoned that the bolts failed, and it caused like a massive amount of water to get into the ship and like sink it within like an hour. Like it barely took an hour to sink it, but what they actually found was there was a massive gash on the side of the ship, and they reckon that a submarine, possibly a United States submarine, but it's always the fucking United States' fault, so I'm a bit wary of that. Whenever I hear it's like the US government, I'm like, oh, for fuck off. You know what I mean? Not everything is the US government's fault, Jesus Christ. And it's like, I'm not saying that they're fucking like particularly good people or like fucking any better or worse than anyone else. I'm just saying, like, not everything can be their fault, you know? It can't be. And people just like the idea of having someone in control. Doesn't matter who it is or whether it's good or bad, just as long as somebody's controlling it. But anyway, there was a, they reckon it was a submarine breached and it went straight into the side of this ship, 4-meter gap, and obviously just let in a shit ton of water and sank it within an hour. Mental, just crazy stuff. Interesting, but I'm not putting too much stock by it. Hello, Rachel. I love bubbles. How are you, Rich in chat? I'm good, Michael John. How are you? The other wants to get a conversation started. Stop that. What tea do you drink in the UK and at what time? What do you eat with it? I must have had about 5 massive cups of tea today. Like, I've got these big mugs, and then at my friend's house, she's got a big mug, especially for me. All right? So I go around there and drink massive amounts of tea, and then I've been drinking massive amounts of tea at my house today as well because I've had the neighbours round, the nice neighbours, not the alkies. And I must have put, oh God almighty, I must have put away about fucking 2-3 litres of tea today. We don't need to eat anything with it. We just fucking drink it at like any point. And the tea I've been drinking today has been Yorkshire tea, or PG Tips and Yorkshire tea. I've been mixing me drinks, you know? It's been outrageous. Good evening, Erin V. How are you? I hope you're well. It's nice to see you. Hi, Rich. Cold? Yes, cold, Enrique. Very cold, mate. Sent the day DHI. Ooh, nice. I'm gonna wear DHI at some point. I think that's a proper going out fragrance. That's like it doesn't matter what you're doing, but you have to be going out and dressed up, and it has to be like an occasion. I think it's a real occasion fragrance. DHI, more so than Dior Homme. Weird. I'm Mad Antonio is wearing Pavarotti Donna. Ooh, what's that like? Do you like that? How do you feel about that? Murphy's Law, full effect. Yeah, Sod's Law, if it can happen, it will. Rachel says, same, Rich. Some conspiracy, same. Conspiracy theories are like our human pattern recognition tendencies going haywire. Yeah. Humans love a good pattern, you know? Good evening, Dusan. Good evening, DJ. How are you? We got taps on ducks over here. Yes, he's been stalking my Fragrantica profile, the rascal. Haven't you, Bri? Shit myself when you said that. Because I'd literally just told Eugene that I was wearing that fragrance. And then you were like, I see you're wearing Gucci Guilty Absolute. And I was like, he's either been listening to me phone calls or he's been talking to Eugene. Never thought that he'd been stalking me Fragrantica profile. Fair play. DJ will sample both Eugene's scents when they're out. Nice. It should be next week. He put a little post out today saying that he's going to be releasing them on the 24th. The second one's coming out. Just in time for Christmas, friends. Dushan's scent of the day is YSL M7. Mine is Gucci Guilty Absolute. If you would like to drop your scent of the day, I would like to hear it. Rachel, how are you? Hi all, scent of the day, vintage Timbuktu. Nice. Nice, Stephen. I've got that. I'm going to wear it. I don't know how I feel about wearing it in the autumn and winter. I am going to try it. But I think it's more of a spring and summer fragrance, to be honest with you. I get a lot of ISO-E from it. Spaced Out says, Mitch, who you betting on? I think Argentina could take the trophy this time. Yes, considering they're on a 35-game unbeaten streak, but they could bottle it again. Depends if Messi shows up. Apparently they are getting the best out of him, and he's hit form at just the right time, you know. Absolutely brilliant at PSG this season. Possibly Spain. But I think it'll be a South American team. It'll either be Brazil or Argentina. France are falling up their own arse. Cristiano Ronaldo's an absolute bellend, who I've always thought was a complete bellend, and now everybody else thinks he's a bellend as well. So that's nice. So I hope he doesn't win it. I'd prefer Messi to win it. If one of them two wins the World Cup, that settles the debate. There'll always be a debate, but for me, I don't know, because Messi played in a team that was geared entirely towards him for about 15 years. Do you know what I mean? Hard to judge. Ronaldo's done it in different countries. I do prefer Messi. He's not a gobshite like Ronaldo is. Ronaldo's just a massively unlikable prick. And he's got those allegations hanging over him as well, you know what I mean? Rachel says, good, Dusan. Our son was in the emergency room overnight because he couldn't walk post-viral infection. He has IV meds and is completely fine now. Modern medicine is amazing. Absolutely. Rachel says, oh yeah, the Estonia, totally US military. Rachel says, I've ordered a partial bottle of the current Iris Nazarena, says Natalia, spaced out on the rest of the gang. My dad was a bubblehead, but you're an airhead. I'll ask him if he was the one who sunk the boat. Oh, that wasn't very nice of him, if he did. Greetings from a very wintry Canada, says Mike. Sent of the day, Chanel number 19, 15? 19. Natalia says, what's up with Estonia? That was the name of a boat that sank about 30 years ago. Stephen says, yes, tea can be drank at any time. Yeah, just drink tea whenever. It's not a problem. Hello, Canadian Beauty Blog. How are you? Evening all. Sent the day was Bois d'Argent today, says Kazim. Nice. Erin says, nothing better than a lovely cup of tea when it's cold outside. Some people tell you to drink it when you're hot. Apparently it cools you down. I'm not sure about that. I wore Gucci Guilty Absolute yesterday. Great release, says Stephen. Yes. Rachel says, my dad is a structural engineer who worked at a semi-secret military base for a bit. He saw things that are... saw parts of the Iran-Contra happen, etc. Stephen says, I agree, Rich. I think it's spring and summer too after wearing today and sampling yesterday. That about vintage Timbuktu. Natalia, yes, we were up all night and it was frightening. We're so grateful. Yes, it's no fun when the kids are unwell, is it? Michael John says, Fragrance Buy has Frederick Mall the moon. I've got some news about Frederick Mall. It's not good news either. Ramsey did an amazing 2 parts of a Chypre. The Azure seems very high quality fragrance. It is absolutely glorious. Greggy Boy very kindly sent me a vintage sample. Fucking sample must have cost fucking, well, it's worth about bloody 30 quid probably. It was only a couple of mils. But it's glorious. So Azure, yes it is. It's a fabulous fragrance. Professor Melvin, welcome. Super excited about Eugene's new fragrance. Scent of the day, Knisa 10. Testing it out for the first time. Galen, your dad was a submariner. Afternoon, Anoush. Stephen says, is this stream late for you, Rich? Yes, it's an hour late. J Sut, welcome to you. JSUT. I hope I've pronounced your name right. Thank you for joining. I haven't seen you before, so welcome. Please stay. Join us. Speak. Speaking of football, are you a Newcastle fan? Yes. Yes, I am. Long-suffering Newcastle fan. Now we are richer than everyone, I think, put together. It's about time. We've been suffering for years. Haven't won a trophy in 60 years, man. Or 55 years, something ridiculous. Rubbish. Loving what's happening at the minute. Mike V says to John, Michael John even, saw that $875 Canadian. Want to wait until their Black Friday sale, but it'll be sold out. Oh no. I've got one. I'm selling it for £450. Local pickup only, though. Hello, Rich. Good day, friends. Hello, Jonathan. Antonio says, with the last 2 days of Ramsey, I'm wearing Sheepra Siam. Nice. He loves his Sheepra. Good videos, those. Very information dense, aren't they? It's like you get good value out of Ramsey. Top 35. It's a lot of fragrances. I'm scared of ranking things. I don't like to rank that. You won't find many ranked videos. Like, it's not like I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying, like, fucking if I rank things, then I feel bad immediately after I've done it because I'm like, oh, but should that be number 4 instead of number 3? Or should that be here? Should this not be in the thing? I'm scared I'll forget things. I do some list videos. I'm just a bit spooked. Plus, lots of people have spoiled the old list video because that's all the videos that they do, you know? Like, 10 fragrances to wear when it's sleeting. You know? 10 fragrances to wear on Friday the 13th. Jesus. No. Too bad it isn't worth the €400 asking price. Oud Infini, you mean, is being discontinued. The only interesting Dusita scent. I've got the Dusita sample set. That Oud Infini smelled like rubber to me. Straight up tire the last time I smelled it. I didn't know it was being discontinued. I've got bad news as well coming from the perfume world. There's not so much a discontinuation as such as a removal. Holy Duckosaurus, says Pradeep. Welcome. Quack. We're not suffering anymore, says Jason. Are you a Newcastle fan as well? Good afternoon, sweet Rachel, says Michael Harness. Hey, Natalia. I'm so bloody interested in Eugene's bell arm, says Natalia. Rich, can you tell me what time traditional tea is in your part of England? For some reason, my British relatives always argue about tea time. Is that a British thing or just my dysfunctional family? And do you put milk in your tea? I do, yes. And it depends what type of tea. If it's just like normal tea, then yes, I just put it in. But if it's like flavoured tea, then I don't put milk in. So tea time, right? Where I'm from in England, I'm from up north. So you have your dinner at 12 and your tea at 5. All right. So you have your lunch. What other people call lunch, we call dinner. And what other people call dinner, we call tea. So tea time is like 5, 6 o'clock. But you can drink tea whenever you want. Like, I don't know anybody's got like strict rules. There might be in like certain sections of society, like upper class, you know. And it was like that for a while. But it's not like that anymore. People just drink fucking cups of tea all day. Some people live on tea. It's like fucking Guinness. Like, some people can live on Guinness, you know, because it's got fucking everything you need in it. There's a comedian called Max Wall who lived on 8 pints of Guinness a day. He never ate fucking food. Mad fucker. Brilliant as well, like. Speaking of football, soccer, says Prof. Melvin, LV's new campaign shows Messi and Ronaldo playing chess. Oy. Fuck Ronaldo, dickhead. I mean, Messi's not like the world's greatest person, but you know what I mean. At least he's not fucking Ronaldo. DJ says, spill the beans, duck man. What's being removed and why is it in Fleur de Cassis? It's not. It's not. I don't like on Fleur de Cassis. Aaron says, scent of the day, vintage women's obsession. Nice. Eugene will be all over you. Enrique says, have you watched FIFA Uncovered on Netflix? Good documentary about FIFA's corruption. No doubt they're one of the most fucking corrupt fucking organisations the world's ever known. Absolutely scandalous. Jisut says, I'm from Newcastle. Ah, nice. What part of Newcastle are you from? You don't have to tell us if you don't want, I understand. I am from along the road in the Tyne Valley. Halfway between Newcastle and Hexham. There's nothing special about number 10, but Homo sapiens likes it just because it has 10 fingers on his hands. What? Bronick, welcome to you. How are you doing? I see what you're saying. Top 10s. 10 frags for cleaning dog shit, feeding ducks, pigeons, walking your granny. And Talia says, tea with milk is for women who are pregnant. That's what we preach in Eastern Europe. No, I get it. I know what you're saying. Have you tried Reminiscence Patchouli? Yes, very good for the money, but I think they've reformulated it. And I think the latest version has got this rubbery kind of patchouli. It's not as good as it was. Hey, from Heaton. Nice. I was near Heaton the other day. I was on Chilly Road. Doesn't change much, does it? It's fucking student town. Rich, can you whistle something from Mozart? Yes, I can, but I'm not going to. I started doing Lacrimosa, but I'm not doing that. Jesus. It'll take fucking ages. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere, no matter the beverage, says Phil. Natalia, fascinating, says Rachel. Shiva, welcome to you. How's the child? Scent of the day, desired by Elisir. Rich, can you whistle something from Mozart? Still no. Top 10 frags to wear while compiling a top 10 list. That's a pretty good list, I imagine, Mike. My blanket still smells like Wazamba from last evening. Wazamba is Fila Nagil's sibling, says Natalia. And Shira says, yes, Udin Fane has been discontinued. Got your bottle? No. And I'm scared as well. I don't want to. Frightening. Is it normal to knock your friend's door without calling and hang out in Newcastle, unlike the US? You can do if you want. They can tell you to fuck off as well. You know what I mean? You come to the door unannounced. People could just be like, what are you doing here? Most people would ask first because they don't want to go around to someone's house and like them not be in. You know what I mean? Akramosa was part of the requiem where he died. Yes, he had to get somebody to finish it off for him. Or one of his students just like picked up the baton and said, right, fuck it, I'll fucking finish it off for you. Galen wants to get a conversation started. Shut up. Peter has sent me a voice message, which I'm not going to listen to until after the stream. I love that we can hear the cold wind in the background of Mitch's stream now. We are all out on the moors. That's right, we're out on the blasted heath. You know? Hubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Top 10 fragrances while changing diapers. Number 3, Oud Infini. Yikes. Sounds like those old radio shows before TV with the mood sound effects. Yes. Sorry about that. There's nothing I can do about it. It's just the way it is. Ghosties. Rachel says, I'll dig out my Parfum d'Empire sample set later this weekend. Yes, I tried Amber Rousse and it's lovely. It really is very nice, that fragrance, is it not? Iskander still bored the piss out of us, but I realise now that the bottle I had, the citrus notes had gone, just ran. There was nothing there. The bottle I had, I give it to Richie G. It was just a shitty amber, but now I realise that the citrus notes at the top are just like they bolted, you know, without so much as a by your leave or kiss me foot. Ah, Eugene, welcome. How are you? It's awesome. The wind matches Richard's voice perfectly. Ooh. I'll start reading Dracula or something like that. Would you all be game for that? Just like sitting around listening to us read like out of copyright books. You know, 100-year-old books and stuff. Like with the wind howling. The wind is what stirs the bubbles brilliant, says Phil. It's awesome. I've been working my way through the Origin Dore sample set. I've got the History of Atars collection, which I'll be doing after the Parfums d'Empire one. Is it Sebastian, Max 40, or Stephen who wanted to get a conversation started? It's Sebastian who wants to get a conversation started. Natalia, Rich, when are you going to try the rest of the Parfum d'Empire? I'll try the other 2 boxes later this week. So I'm going to do the fragrance rotation tomorrow, and then I will do the... What will I do? Yeah, I'll do the videos next week, maybe Monday or Tuesday. Rachel, Peter is here and he comes bearing gifts, which is funny because he won't eat either of those things, red apples or grapes. Hello, beautiful soul, says Pradeep. Oh, thanks. I want to know about Galen's submarine dad. What frag did he wear? I don't know. Eugene's super excited for the new launch. Can't wait for Eugene's new frag, says Rachel. Scent Reaper, welcome. Quack. How's your day going, Eugene, says Michael. That's actually a really good idea, Rich. Do a trial run, ghostly stories from the attic, says Phil. See if people would like to hear them. I'm at the hospital on Monday. They want to give me a once-over. I hope the nurse is nice. I like both apples and grapes, says Peter. I find that hard to believe because you hate everything else. Eugene says, Michael just going out with the boys. Hope everything is well. Okay, since Eugene is here, I want to drop this information live. All right. So, first bit of news. Music for a while has been taken off the shelves in my local department store, and the account manager says it's not discontinued, but it has been replaced by Uncut Gem. So it's not discontinued, but Music for a While has been replaced. Music for a While has been replaced on the shelves by Uncut Gem. I have a second bit of news, which is quite shocking if it's true. All right. This is from a reliable source. Okay. Apparently, Frederick Malle is in the process of being bought out by Francis Kurdejan. I shit you not. The message says apparently Frederick has been bought out by MFK. That is apparently the shtick. Two absolute whoppers of information there. Absolutely outrageous behavior. If either of those bits of information are true, and I've no reason to suspect that they aren't, but if either of them are, that is absolutely appalling. Anuj, when we're going for poutine, let's do it, buddy, says Anuj. Sandra says, I got a 1993 bottle of Egoist, smells glorious, marvellous. 10 frags you'd wear as a ghost, scented haunting, says Rachel. Amber Roos has a burp note that displeases me deeply, says Fernando. A burp note. Okay, so, lol, says DJ. Shut up, says Jonathan. What, says Natalia. Vomit, says Eugene. Anger, says Rachel. What, says the Scent Reaper. What the fuck, says Michael John. Enrique is shook. Professor Melvin says, what? Saint Reaper says, damn, how much is Dior paying him? So I don't know if he's been bought out by Francis Kurkdjian or the company Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Apparently that is the case. Phil Stevens says, well, that's a relief. I thought you were going to tell us you had asthma. Oh, Phil. I have actually got asthma, right? I do actually have asthma. I'm not actually joking. I do actually have asthma, amongst many other things. It'd probably be quicker to tell you what I don't have than what I do have. Jesus. Dior must pay really good, says Mike. I think it's a company. Michael John says, another one bites the dust. You're not wrong. Christ, says Natalia. We're in the end times, says Jonathan. John, this is one of the times. This is one of the signs. Page of Styles, welcome to you. It's nice to see you. That's weird. Why would Estee Lauder sell malt to LVMH? Their competitors? Who knows? Do not have a clue. Apparently that's the patter though. Something to do with the, do you know Orange Square? The people who employ the sales assistants, the sales associates. Apparently it's something to do with them as well. So Pradeep says, Francis ain't worth that much money-wise, so I ain't sure about that. Could be a leveraged buyout. You're thinking about going to the shop and paying for a Mars bar or something, you know. It's not that kind of deal. Francis ain't worth that much. No, I think the brand is. The brand's worth a fucking fortune. They could easily afford to buy Frederick Malle. Francis Kurkdjian's a much bigger brand than Frederick Malle. Money-wise. Peter says, I tried doing up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, but unfortunately the canoe has a paddle in this emoji. Oh. That's like a tugboat possessing an aircraft carrier, says Shiva Vareen. Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. Have you never seen aircraft carriers being fucking towed around? It does happen. I don't know about tugboats, but it does happen. Next Mall release Soft Musk, says Mike. Probably the firm that owns MFK. Well, I mean, that's... oh, fuck me. Who is it? Who owns fucking MFK? Is it LVMH? No, apparently it's going to be under MFK. Same company, same thing. It's going to be like there's like a company that's going to own like lots of different niche houses. News like this makes me want to support Les Abstrait and Les Indemnidables more and more, says Michael. Just hope that they don't sell out. Eugene, would you sell to LVMH? Saint Reaper says uncircumcised gem. Ugh. I know Estee Lauder is expanding into the luxury market. They recently bought the clothing business part of Tom Ford. That is true. Did you know that Tom Ford sold his brand? Yes, 2.3, but he only gets 1.1. Because the he owns 64. He owned 64% of the company. Phil Stevens says, sleeping with the enemy, sometimes they make the best bed partners. It's because they hate fuck each other. Well, that's the end of that, Brian Enrique, says Jonathan. Bronex is my scent of the day and also my latest purchase, a Chanel Le Leon. Love it. What's your opinion on Le Leon, Mitch? Shite. Sorry, Bronick. I don't like it at all. It's not for me in the slightest, mate. Really don't like it. It's actually quite a running joke on the channel. Pain and suffering, I'm afraid. Sorry, mate. Frederick Malle wants to cash out while the brand is still strong. He should have done it before he released fucking Uncut Gem then. Burke. Fernando Milan says, Francis Kurkdjian additions to Parfum, but all signed by him. Oh, God. The latest one smells like a Francis Kurkdjian. Like the Uncut Gem smells like a Francis Kurkdjian. If they do get sold, I hope they replace additions to Parfum X name instead. It's a big, big fucking thing, isn't it? It's a lot of words. I think smaller niche indie and artificial houses are the future. I said that a while ago, still believe it. Artisanal houses, not artificial. Rich is not a fan of labdanum, and DJ agrees with me in saying that the Leon isn't anything special or new, in my opinion. I love the Leon, it's amazing. It's special and new in the context of Chanel, but not in the context of fragrance. I'm not parting with 300 quid for a 200ml bottle of something that I can get much cheaper and better done, in my opinion. Hello, Fragrance Journey. You hero, you legend, you goat. How are you? According to Sebastian, Leon is an addictive perfume. That's not a real thing. I love Sebastian. I do actually have love for Sebastian. I think he's great. I described this the last time on the last stream. I think Sebastian's fantastic. He's grafted, he's worked, he's put a lot of time and effort into his channel. He deserves what he's got. But the lists and silly forced ideas behind lists are just stop it. Everybody. It's boring. You know. The rest of us love the Leon Bronick. Yes, that's true. Everybody else seems to think it's a fantastic perfume. Don't worry that I don't like it. If you like it, then be happy. Wear it, be happy. Speaking of MFK, thoughts on Oud Extrait, Rich? Oud Extrait or Oud Satin Mood? I've got Oud Satin Mood Extrait. Powerful. I do like that. It's a guilty pleasure. I know I shouldn't, but I do. I like Oud. I like the normal Oud EDP. I like the normal Oud EDP more than I like the Extrait. But I don't think I'm going to buy it. Shiva says they'll be coming from many indie houses, I'm sure. I hope Papillon, Rogue, Bogue, Bianchi and Les Indomptables hold strong. Yeah, they'll hold strong to a point. They'll hold up to a point. I'm not sure that they will. I'm not sure that they will hold out forever, because these companies will come along and offer them a lot of cash and a stake in the future of the business, so they get the best of both worlds. Fucking Pradeep. I'm going to time you out for that, you little rascal. Naughty boy. Rich secretly owns backups. Rich secretly owns backups of the Leon, says Michael. What is cheaper and better done than labdanum in Le Leon, Ambra Sultan? I hope the same Shiva, says Jonathan. Sebastian just put Vernier Diorama at number 1. Diorama. Is the current Quai de Russie worth purchasing? All the bottles are way too expensive. Nonsense, says Fernando. Try it and see. I don't think so. I've got my 80s bottle I paid the best part of 500 quid for, and it's fucking fabulous. I might wear it tomorrow, now you've mentioned it. I look at it every time and I'm like, oh, every time I spray that, it's like a £5. That is not a reason not to wear it, though. Pradeep swears in the chat. Balenciaga Pour Homme is shite, he says. Fight me. Hello, Carl. Hi, Dougie. Whatever happened to Christo? Just a thought. I think he became very disillusioned with the fragrance community. It wasn't the fragrance community he signed up for. I don't think he enjoyed it anymore. Maybe he just went off fragrances in general, got everything he wanted out the hobby. I think some stuff happened in his private life, none of which is any of my or anyone else's business. And he's doing other things with his time, and I hope that he's happy. I hope he has a good life. Done a lot as far as my collecting is concerned, as far as my taste is concerned. A good lad, Christo. He's one of the better. We are worse off for Christo not being around. Gonna take a big offer to pry Navitus out of Stephen's hands, not even in his hands in the first place. Paige says, I don't wear shite, I wear Barnyard Oud Extreme Intense Parfums. Alan Hansen, welcome to you. How are you? Gonna take Sebastian is a vanilla addict. Wow, says Bronick. Sorry, Bronick. I just picked up Middle Eastern Oud Cheapy. Oud Cass by Nusuk. Oudie, spicy woody, and with a great kiss of cumin. Great stuff. Yikes. Good evening, Keith. Manly sense. Natalia, okay, Rich, I thought you'd mentioned something else, but you didn't. I'm just pulling the duck's thick legs. Probably. Yes, so apparently MFK has bought Frederick Mall, or is buying Frederick Mall. That's the rumour, that's the shtick, that's the thing. And apparently, music for a while not being discontinued, is being removed from physical stores to be replaced by Uncut Gem. If that's true, that's one step away from discontinuation, or reformulation. So I'll be looking to get a bottle of that if I can from anywhere. You know? Jesus. Bronick says, by wow, I mean that I smelled Amber Sultan once, and the first association was it smells like the Leon. I'm shocked that you also see the resemblance. It's the labdanum, but in Amber Sultan, the labdanum's done well. In Le Leon, it's not. Same perfumer involved. Christopher Sheldrake got his hands on both. That man has a huge influence on perfume. Huge. With Serge Luton and now Chanel. Sacred Scarab, says Rachel. Camel's better. What a fragrance that is. Beautiful. Best of the line in my opinion. I wonder what the insiders of the perfume world, such as Tom Ford and Frederick Moore, say the future holds for perfume. Money, focus groups. Maybe they know something that makes them want to get out now. Yes, the regulation of perfume. Amber Sultan is awesome, says Rachel. Do you all write perfume reviews? I appreciate new, good reviews writers. JJ Colburn's a writer. I think that's his natural element. Rachel says, I'd guess just age, retirement. Scent of the morning. Sacred Scarab, Sut, Oriental Velour, Scent of the evening, Oriental Velours. What's everyone wearing, says Eugene. Interesting point, Michael, says Jonathan. Natalia says, Bronk, no way our noses and perceptions are so astoundingly different. Amazing. Probably deleted a message. Good Lord. Frag Guy says, Scent of the day, Mancera Oud Cafe. That's the coffee one, is it not? Love Sacred Scarab, says Jonathan. Apparently there's an Attar coming out. That'll be outrageous. And Eugene has a stream coming up with... Oh, fuck me. Sultan Pasha has a stream coming up next Wednesday with Sultan Pasha, hopefully. So, yeah. Camel reminds me of Memo's African leather. I don't like Memo. Those leather ones aren't very good. The real question should be what accord will the cocoa, Trinidad, cardamom, iris, and blue ginger will create. Oof. Love the jasmine and sacred song, you know? It's a bit evil. Wes keeps insisting that zoologists do honey badger. The perfume practically creates itself. It's a good pitch, that. You should pitch that to Victor Wong. Pradeep says, Matcha Premier will sell soon, I am really sure. It's just a total money grab, that house, isn't it? Deva is supposed to be sending me a sample set, or a mini set of those, and I will go through all of them and berate them. Apart from Encens Suave, that's quite nice. Manly Sense is sad to hear JJ has asthma, possibly caused by his perfume making hobby. I've got asthma. I've had it since I was a child. I would prefer it if JJ didn't have asthma. It's not the end of the world. It's very treatable. Not to worry. I hope that he's, I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm wearing 1740 over Queer Fetiche that I sprayed earlier. It's not the best layering though, says Fernando. Sacred Scarab is one of the house's best in some time, in my opinion. Yeah, when I smelled that sample set, I didn't. There was a few of them that I thought, these are really not great. And there was a few of them that I thought were absolutely immense. Obviously, I bought 3 of them. You know what I mean? So I obviously thought highly enough of them. Probably, maybe. I get the impression it's a family tradition he wants to pass on. I smelled some zoologists on the horizon, and they are exceptional, says Eugene. And Talia says, for people in Europe, Sherry Garden perfume store from Hungary will have 30% sales from the 21st to the 11th. Ooh, nice. 30% off. To the ship to the UK? Doubtful. What do they sell? Canadian Beauty Blog says, scent of the day, Shalimar that I sprayed at the mall today. Nice. Canadian Beauty Blog did a first impressions video of Violette or Violet perfume. And it was good. It was good. I like first impressions videos. Probably says, I can see where he's coming from. Look at the latest clips. Him and his gang are getting up there in age. Ropey on his 80, for fuck's sake. Bellarm and Tonka Cola are my only must-haves at this time, says Pradeep. Yeah, Ansel Suave's really nice, says Richard. It is, it's very good. African leather is just cardamom to me, says Phil. Rich, you are a trooper. It's just asthma. It's very common. Very treatable, very common. We'll be fine. The pair of us. It'll be okay. Don't know how perfume affects mine. Never thought of it until now, to be honest. Don't know that it does. I'm not sure I could stop wearing perfume, even if I found out that it was being aggravated by. If my asthma was being aggravated by the perfume, I'm not sure I would stop wearing it, to be honest. What is life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. At perfume. The Mao Honey Badger says Canadian Beauty Blog. Honey, Castorium, Birch Tar. That sounds pretty fucking great, like. Embarrassingly shocking announcement, says Phil. What about JJ with his asthma? I don't know. I wouldn't have done it, but that's me. Rich, what's your favourite bogway? I've got to be honest, I don't know. That I would have to sit down and concentrate on that house before I would be able to tell you. I've got some of their samples, but they've always come with other samples. And nothing from them's ever blown me away, like, at all. So, I don't know. I don't know that I've smelled anything that's ever stuck out to us, like, but I'd need to smell. I'd need to sit and concentrate and focus and direct my attention towards them. Do you know what I mean? Eugene sniffing the camel toe, says Phil. MAAI is my favourite, says Michael. Jason says I couldn't stop wearing perfume either. What the fuck is the point? What the fuck is the point in fucking not wearing perfume? Like, I'm not necessarily talking about fucking JJ here. I'm talking in general. Like fuck that. I couldn't stop wearing perfume. It's something would have to be like pretty fucking shocking to happen to us if I was to stop wearing perfume. Like, I don't know. Like if my skin suddenly turned to like fucking bad death, like necrotic tissue or something, like even then I'd still wear it on my clothes. Jesus. Behave, Phil. Camel toes matter, says Eugene. Yes, it does, says Phil. Although Tom Ford Oud Wood and Spice Bomb both used to make me cough, so I gave them away, says just so. If you don't like them, just give them away. If they are fucking you up, just get rid. Do what you need to do. Rich, do you have opinions about Darren Allen fragrances? Well, I do believe that Alan Hansen gave me some samples of Darren Allen, possibly when we met up. So I've got a couple there, but I haven't actually tried any of them. I should really get to trying them. The Uden Bourbon that Alan gave us, absolutely glorious. He gave us a patchouli one as well. That was fabulous. Powder Mizu says, has anyone tried putting A l'Isla Dore fragrances on skin? Is it really that dangerous? It depends. It depends. Just try a little bit on, Powder Mizu, like a tiny little spray on your wrist, up close, and see how it reacts with your skin over time. Don't put on the garment one, because that's got untreated birch tar, which was incredibly irresponsible. But it did come with a disclaimer, and people should take responsibility for their own actions. But I sprayed that fragrance on a piece of card and like literally waited for it for a long time before I smelled it. Didn't like the idea that someone was like putting carcinogenic material into a perfume and then saying just spray it on your clothes, don't spray it on your body. But again, Russian Adam isn't stupid, and he's trusting other people not to be stupid as well. So if he tells you not to spray something on your skin, don't spray it on your bloody skin. There'll still be people out there who'll have sprayed it on their skin, though. Do you know what I mean? Because people are warped. I've put many of his fragrances on my skin. No problem at all, says Rachel. Alan says, I do like a couple of perfumes by Darren Allen, but I don't own any, and it wasn't me who gave you samples by him. Sorry, Rich. Oh, sorry, Alan. I have misattributed these fragrances to Alan. Sorry, somebody's gave us some Darren Allen samples, though. I've got them somewhere. I don't have any. What scent would you pick for a lonely island if you could only take one, says JP. Oh, I don't know. Fortunately, I don't have to do that, so I'm not going to. That is a very hypothetical question. Balls to that. I'd just take my entire collection. And they'll be like, oh, you have to go. And I'll be like, no, I won't. JP Music says, I sprayed Baccarat Rouge 540 from a decant yesterday and I can still smell it everywhere. Nuclear, yes. I'm leaving you, my friends. I have to get up early, says Natalia. Stay safe and have fun. Thank you, Natalia. Pradeep says, I am waiting for the sandalwood and pine samples from Motorfall Factif. I hope they are good. I've got the Motorfall Factif sample set. Nothing blew me away. I won't lie. Micah says, scent of the day, Brioni ADP Intense. Fernando Mian says, an easier hypothetical question. If you had to choose only one, which would it be? Paris Edinburgh, Ormond Man, French Lover, or Corsica Furiosa? Well, I only own one of those, and it's Paris Edinburgh, so there's my answer. I wouldn't mind a bottle of Ormond Man, but at the same time, don't know, maybe not. It'd be great if it was the only scent you owned. It'd be a brilliant signature scent for somebody who didn't have a scent and they were like, oh, I want something a bit different but good. I'd be like, try Ormond Man. But for someone like me who's got many, many fragrances, it's a little bit middle of the road. Looking forward to Eugene's release. Iris is one of my favourite notes, says Micah. There is a lot of iris in it. Collection 3, Darren Allen, Devil's Share, Sheepra number 1, Aqua de Colonia, as stunningly beautiful, says Michael. Right up my alley, says Micah. Powder Mizu, lucky there's an official resellers of ALD here, but again, the only thing there's available to buy are the Atar sample set and civet dinner wheat. It's all on pre-order. Eugene says, Alan Hansen gifted me Cartier Oud and Amber, but even nicer was the letter attached. It's lovely, I remember that. That was very nice of him. I remember the letter as well. I remember you saying you got a lovely letter from him. Right, give us a couple of minutes. I'm going to the bathroom. Ah, God. I'm up. Oh. I'll be back. Creaky door as well. Ooh. Well, well. It appears that I have some Haribo fried eggs. Would you like one? Local pickup only. I'm going to have some right now. Right, I'm going to have two. Oh God, maybe not. They're chewy as fuck. Apologies, friends. I'm chewing like a horse. See you later, Canadian Beauty Blog. Thanks for coming. You may subscribe to Canadian Beauty Blog. A few blogs about beauty and Canadian. Does fragrances and beauty things. I'll put her link in the chat. There you go. If you want to go and subscribe. Sorry, I'm chewing and it's disgraceful. These are far chewier than real eggs. Jason, I have often said, excuse me whilst I dehydrate. It has been done. Good to see we're on the same wavelength, though. Micah says, does the vintage on taste have the concentration above or below the Chanel label? Give me 2 seconds and I'll tell you. Oh, where are you? Come here. And taste pour on. So the eau de toilette is directly above the Chanel. Directly. Good Lord. The ghost is back, says Dino. Welcome. Someone's selling a Mini on Mercari for 35. What of? Do a best windy day fragrances, says the dog catcher. Woof. Excuse me. Oh. Jesus, Duck, I won't be able to sleep with these howling winds. You get used to it. Scenes from a thriller, says Mike. Rich should be consulted on any duck fragrance by Victor, says Rachel. If I get commission, sound. Thanks, pal, says Mike. Buy an Audrey bottle and civet it yourself, says Milan. Says Fernando. Haunted house, says JP. Fragrances to wear in the cold, lonely wind, says Rachel. Oh no. Misty mountain top. Pound and Mizu says, but according to Ram, any bottle with silver atomizer is good to scoop. Yes. Yeah, I saw a couple on eBay a few months back. Went fast. I believe zoologists should, with the simple addition of coffee and oud, like in Parfum de Marley exclusives, create a flanker to bee and call it Killer Bee. Ooh. Next time you go to the toilet, you might consider saying, excuse me whilst I dehydrate. Duck eggs, says Sun Reaper. I've been trying Chanel Edinburgh lately, and I really like it. Yeah, I've got a bottle that's fantastic. Rachel says, so if tea time is 3 o'clock, when is the late meal? What we call dinner, supper. What do you call it? Tea. In the north of England, they call it tea. Tea time. It's like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Rock. Alan says, Rachel, as they say on the game show Jeopardy, what's up? Oh, so what do you think of this news about Music for a While being shifted out of the stores? Absolutely scandalous, like. I think it's absolutely outrageous, to be fair. Who watched Smurfy's stream the other day as well with Eugene, where she did the first impressions of Balaam? Rachel says, you don't eat another meal after tea? No, that's what we call. That's what we call our evening meal, tea. So we call our evening meal tea, as in tea time. What's for tea? What's for dinner? So we have our dinner in the midday. That's our midday meal. Breakfast in the morning, dinner at the middle of the day. And then tea time is like your evening meal. But you drink tea like like all through the day. You can drink tea whenever you fucking want. Like some people have a tea break at work and stuff like that, but most people just drink tea on the go. Like Mizu says, what makes a fragrance great? There are many things that can make a perfume great. The blend, the blending, the quality of the build, the sales can make a perfume great. The quality, and I think the magic ingredient is cultural impact. When it becomes a crossover fragrance like Dior Sauvage, I hate to say it, Dior Sauvage is like a crossover perfume. I don't think it's a great perfume because I don't think that I don't think it's very well made, to be honest with you. I don't think it smells very good. I don't think it uses great ingredients. But it's had a massive cultural impact. Like Acqua di Gio. Acqua di Gio had a massive cultural impact. Is it a great perfume? No. Opium? Opium's a great perfume. The original Opium. Cultural impact, quality, and what was the other one? It's got the X factor, you know. Chanel No. 5 is one of the greatest perfumes of all time because of those things, you know. Go to US tea time is just a snack with biscuits or mini sandwiches in the afternoon. The stream convinced me to pull the purchase trigger this Thursday. Outrageous. Biblos Womo is very heavy on the violet, says manly scent. So Chamad. Didn't like Chamad for men. Chamad pour on. Wasn't for me. Like, how do you judge quality? Your nose will get you. You judge it in context of all the other perfumes you've smelled. It's experience. It's taste. It's something you build. You know, you refine it. You polish it. You develop it. It grows. It's not something you can just walk in and say, oh, I've got great taste in perfume, and because you probably won't, you know. And we've all done it, you know. This smells great. Somebody turns around and says, no, it doesn't. It smells like shit. Everybody says that Le Leon's great. I say it's not. At the end of the day, to thine own self be true. You know, if you like the smell of something, buy it and wear it and be happy. But it's best to smell a lot of things so that you can put things in context. And I'm not talking about smell. You've got to take time as well, and it does take time. That's why time is such a precious commodity. Not that it's a commodity, but you know what I mean. Time is such a precious thing. Music for a While seems to be still available here for now. It's still available, it's just not in stores. It's being pulled from stores to make way for Uncut Gem, apparently. Creed event has big cultural impact too. Yes, it's become a crossover kind of scent, yeah. Like judging good moves of books. You just need to read or watch a lot, and opinion matters, yes. Subjective as with everything, yes. Nowadays it's difficult with the in your opinion crowd. Yeah. You'll always have people being pedantic and shit like that, but at the same time, it's a. If you think it's an art, right? And not everybody thinks it's an art. Let's be honest. Some people think it's an art. Some people don't. As with all things like that, it is up to you to ascribe value, you know, and desirability. It's difficult to judge. It's just one of those things, and it comes organically, like. Time is the most precious thing. Alan says, when Rich had tea with Wes and me, Rich insisted the crusts on the cucumber sandwiches be trimmed. I insisted the crust be trimmed on the cucumber. Take that green shit off my cucumber, damn it. Outrageous, says Alan. Rachel says, Alan, well, Rich is fancy like that. Pinky's up. I troll the dog, I do, says Alan. Outrageous. It's so windy tonight. Got really cold feet. Phil Stevens says, and Old Spice has stood the test of time. Old Spice has stood the test of time. I wouldn't mind getting a bottle of Old Spice, but I don't know. I'd just be wasting it. I wouldn't mind a vintage bottle of Brut. A vintage bottle of Brut wouldn't go amiss. Did you ask to cut diagonally? No, I'm not some kind of outrageous pervert. I'm not doing that. I'm from up north, mate. I'll get chinned. I'll get beaten up. People say us cutting me sandwiches diagonally. Dino says, did you think about making a YouTube channel a while before you did it? So, yes, I was, for years, people said, because I was a famous commenter. Like, you'll know, for people like who have been in the community for a while, I commented on loads of videos all the time. So basically what happened is I was watching fragrance content from, like, I don't want to say the beginning, but pretty close to the beginning. And I didn't watch it like as much as like I do now or have done over the last like 7 or 8 years. But like I watched a lot of fragrance content for a long time, and then I didn't start commenting until like 2016 because I was just watching it. I think I started watching them in like 2011, 2012. Remember, I used to be able to watch YouTube without an account before that. So I was watching loads of like fragrance content for years, and then I started commenting, and I became a prolific commenter. Just commenting on everybody's videos, so people come and go, loads of stuff. So there came a point where people were like, you should start your own channel. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that. And I resisted it for fucking ages. Like years and years. I like to do things. I like my things to be done to make to last. You know? Like, so if I make a decision, I would like it to stick. So I didn't want to commit to a YouTube channel until I knew that I was going to be able to commit to a YouTube channel. And then when I made the decision, I did. I was streaming with Eugene for a while beforehand as well, you know. I like to do things slowly and surely. As you will have seen, I didn't have a fucking tripod. I didn't have a tripod in my first videos, man. I'm not taking them down. But there's wobbly screen on loads of them. Like, literally, it's just me holding the camera. And then Audrey Jane and Richie G both bought me tripods for my birthday, not the birthday gone, but the one before. And then, like, you're talking the best part of a year later, I got a ring light and a microphone, which was paid for by you, by donating to coffee, thank you. And then I've got, like, this new phone, which was paid for by coffee as well, which I've used to record the last couple of videos. So I like to do things slowly but surely, you know? So just bear with us. I had thought about making a channel for a long time. Eugene was pushing. Galen and Thomas told us I should go for it as well. Other people, lots of people, you know, even people who I like barely know would like reply to my comments being like, why don't you make videos? Because it was quite outspoken in my comments. I would basically just talk like I'm talking now, you know? And I wanted to make sure that I was going to do what I wanted to do, the way I wanted to do it, and do it properly, which was basically to try and stay in my fucking lane, mind me business, talk about the things that I love, talk about the things that I want to talk about, and if that means bashing shit, when I say talk about things I love, I mean talking about fragrances. I don't mean talking about only perfumes that I love, only saying nice things. As you well know, I will bash the fuck out of something if I think it's shit. Which is what I did with Uncut Gem. Which is what I did with fucking Bois 1920. I made sure that they couldn't sue us for anything I said. But fuck Bois 1920. Frankly. Disgusting. Them fuckers can fuck right off. They're a fucking influencer brand as well. Which is a shame because Real Patchouli used to be fucking immense and now it's not. Bastards. So yes, I did think about it for a while, and I wanted to make sure I got it right. I'm still not where I want to be. But I'm getting there, and I'm getting there slowly. Bois 1920 is a perfume company, Rachel, and they have a fragrance called Real Patchouli. I heard that it had been reformulated from the eau de toilette to the eau de parfum, and I thought to myself, fuck that, I will get myself a bottle of the eau de toilette, so I've got a backup. Because I love the original, I love the eau de toilette. And so I bought one off a company in Germany, and on the box it had eau de toilette. When I opened it, inside was a bottle of the eau de parfum. It was sealed, it hadn't been tampered with, and so I had bought a box that said eau de toilette, and the bottle was actually a bottle of the eau de parfum. I complained to Bois 1920, who said, well, you bought it through a third party. Obviously, we can't take any like liability for that. And I was like, well, to be honest with you, I don't believe for a second that the seller has sent me a fake, frankly. I think what you've done is that you have had some eau de toilette boxes left over and you've put bottles of eau de parfum in them so you didn't waste the boxes. That's what I think you've done. That's illegal. I hold you responsible. Personally, I hold you responsible. Now, whether they are actually responsible, I can't prove any of this. I've got no evidence. I should say that they denied it. Hello, Mikey Dinsmore. I can see you. How are you? But yes, fuck Bois 1920. Fuck their reformulation of Real Patchouli, and fuck the company. It's a packaging issue, and it's illegal to have packaging that doesn't match the product inside. And really what I should have done is I should have gone to a regulator or something like that. But since I didn't buy it directly from Bois 1920, the other thing I should say as well is that Rudy did a little bit of digging and found out that other people had the same issue. Absolutely fucking outraged. They should have done something to put it right. I said to them, look, even if you've got any bottles of the Eau de Toilette just lurking around, just swap as it. Like, even, I know you've reformulated it. I know you can't fucking sell it out on the thing. Just send us it. We'll say no more. I don't want this bottle of the Eau de Parfum. It's fucking grunt. They were like, oh, the smell hasn't changed, but we have had to change the dyes in it. And it, like, the formulation hasn't changed. And they were, and I was like, yes, it has. I was like, I can smell it, man. You fucking demic. I can smell it. I can smell that it's different. It is not the same. The same perfume. It is not changed. It is. Dickheads. Basically, just went back and forward, and I was like, oh, fuck you. I've done 130 quid up the spout. I'm just going to sell it at a loss. Absolutely fuming. I will never buy another perfume from them, and I would not recommend buying any perfume from Bois 1920 ever. That is my opinion. It may or may not be your opinion. Are you singing with the original lurker, says Michael John? Yes. I've seen your comments years ago. I was a lurker, says Dino. Yeah, you can buy Bruton Old Spice at the convenience stores. I want a vintage one, though. I want a proper one, mate. So happy you started the channel. It's so wonderful to hang out with friends. Yeah, I'm happy. I like the live streams. I like just hanging out and talking in the live streams. Influencer duck, says Pradeep. People do listen. People do listen. I'm telling you. I've seen my opinion come out of other people's mouths before. Like, verbatim. Fair enough. It doesn't bother me. As long as the message is right, you know? I'd rather the message, like, if I'm getting the message out there, if, like, that's fine by me. Like, if people want to fucking take that and use it for their own, fine. It's better than the message that's been fed to people about perfume the last fucking, 5 years? Michael says, doing it the right way. Thank you. Yes. Dino says, glad you started, mate, and I remember you and Eugene streaming together. Your quote, yin and yang, aren't you, in a good way? Yes, thank you. I'm glad to have you here. I like the bottles. Fragrances are hit and miss for the most part, says Mike. Yeah, they're all misses for me now. I will miss every fragrance. I would have been intrigued to try some of their other stuff, but fuck them. Real Patchouli, the original Real Patchouli Eau de Toilette was fucking immense. Beautiful, one of the best patchoulis. You know how I said the Italians make the best patchoulis? Nobody can touch them for the patchoulis. That's based on Real Patchouli. That's how I found that out. And the fucking shat all over us. And it is reformulated. They tried to claim to me that it wasn't reformulated. It was reformulated. It is reformulated. It's a different fucking fragrance. I've got a bottle of each. It's not just the colouring. They said they had to change the colouring, fair enough. So why does it smell fucking different? And DJ says, I hate these influencer brands. That's what they are. They go to stuff like Scent Explore. They go to stuff like fucking Excessence and they try and fucking peddle their wares and get fucking friends on fucking YouTube to fucking say their stuff's good when it's not. You know? Fuck them. Hello, Mikey Dinsmore. I can see you there. Thank God. Rachel says, what? Obviously a manufacturing issue. I think it's more than just a manufacturing issue. I think that they've had Eau de Toilette boxes left over and just thought, sod it. We've got like a few thousand of these boxes. We've got a few hundred of these boxes. We've paid a lot of money for them. Let's not waste them. Put the Eau de Parfums in the Eau de Toilette. Maybe it was an innocent mistake. I don't know. But it happened. I'm telling you it happened. I'm willing to go to court on that. Completely. Pradeep says, I think it's the first videos of yours I watched, like an investigative episode. You know, before YouTube changed the protocol with how many likes and dislikes, like your dislikes don't show up anymore. It is probably my most disliked video. Let's find out, shall we? We'll go on YouTube Studio. You can find out. I didn't know you could do this, but you can. All right, let's have a look. We'll go to content. We'll search Bois. There it is. Let's go to view analytics. 9 views in the last 24 hours. How many views has it got? 2,300. That's quite a lot for me. Analytics. Content. No, that is, I've dropped a bollock there. So let's go to more. Right. Reach. Engagement. My experience with Bois 1920. So, my experience with Bois 1920 got 90 likes and it got 9 dislikes. That's 90%. My channel average is 98.4%. All right. I don't know who disliked that. I don't care who disliked that. What I care about is the why. And I think a lot of those dislikes will be because people don't like hearing jarring information that differs from what they've heard from other sources. And because Bois 1920 is an influencer brand, a lot of people have been influenced to buy them, and they don't want to hear somebody say that they've made a mistake. You know? It's easier to fool people than it is to convince them they've been fooled, and people don't like feeling like a fool. You're buying bollocks from a bollocks brand. Fuck off. Fuck out of here. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. That was a bit of a rant, that, wasn't it? That was buying fakes, is powder music. What's that clear fragrance you have, Rich? The one with robes away. It has the other bottles of. It is by Mona Diorio. Do you know? It is fucking brilliant. You can get samples from Les Santas in London. Brilliant fragrance, mate. Somebody asked before, how did Ewan become a friend of Eugene? Just comment on his channel. And then I was like, oh, send us your email. And then we're emailing. And he was like, oh, just send us your number. And we started texting. And then we just started talking about general stuff and just fell in love. I thought Rich was 85 when we first met. Yes, he was looking for advice from an old man. And then he started getting advice from a young man. And he was like, good God, what's this? They made a mistake. Mistake, says Rachel. I hate these influencer brands. You're fucking rotten. I seen Ashton did a video the other day, and it was like Parfum de Marly and Initio are having a huge sale. And my comment, I got in there first. I was the first comment, right? And I said, literally, my comment said, don't bother, they're all awful. The reason I said they're all awful is because if I'd said they were all shite, the comment would have been held for fucking review. So I just said they're all awful, but I meant shite. Okay? I pull a shell of both every now and then, says John Smith. I don't know what that means, John Smith. And John Smith says, can you add the perfume name tags that you showcase in your description so that I can find a certain video after I've watched, with respect? So, John Smith, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Can you add the perfume name tags that you showcase in your description? Ah, right. So you want us to put the names of the fragrances that I mention in the description so you can find them later on after you've watched. I mentioned a lot of fragrance names, mate. If you've got any questions about any of them, your best bet is to ask in the comments and leave a oh fuck me, what's it called, man? Like a timestamp. Leave a timestamp in the comments and say what perfume are you talking about at this point, or that's if you're watching later, or like if I'm talking about a fragrance now and you don't know what it is, just ask, I'll tell you. But I'm not going back through a stream listening to it all the way through and then like adding the names of all the fragrances that I've talked about in a stream. I do 2-hour streams, talk about a lot of fragrances. Screw that. But if you want to know something, just ask and I'll let you know, mate. No problem. I thought Rich was 85 years old when we first met. Yeah, I know. Personally, I seek out contrasting and opposing opinions, if for no other reason than to balance the voices in my head. Very good point, Alan. Got to be careful about echo chambers, you know? There's nothing worse than fucking being so convinced that you're right that you can't see any other point of view. Do you know what I mean? It's like Eugene like often says things that I'm just like, never thought of that before. Like at all. And whether you agree with it or not, try and understand it. Same with Ramsey. You know what I mean? Ramsey will say, it's like me and Ramsey were talking about something slightly political. It was like a private conversation. We were talking about something political, and he explained to me a couple of terms that are used in politics over there that have different meanings in my country. And the way he explained it to us, I was like, now I understand what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like I understand the world better when shit like that happens. Do you know what I mean? It's like these people enrich your lives. You know, and like I get on with like Ramsey and Eugene like a house on fire. They just give us a different point of view. Do you know what I mean? It's about having respect. It's about like being fucking open and fucking honesty as well. You know, honesty as well, and having something in common. Having something in common is very important too. So you can be as different as you like, but if you've got something in common, then it'll hold you together during. Excuse me. It'll hold you together during like your conversations and stuff like that. Have you tried anything else from Mona Diorio? Yes, but I've got to be honest, nothing else really, like nothing else I wanted to buy. The queer is special though. The queer is really nice. Rachel must run. The toddler is awake. Bye, friends. See you later, Rachel. He emailed me about all these old perfumes. Excuse me. Yeah. He emailed me about all these old perfumes. That's right, I did. I've tried a few from influencer brands and I seriously don't understand the point, says Lovaloo. They're literally just less textured versions of designer releases. Yeah, spot on. The Baccarat one is disgusting. Baccarat Rouge is shit. I really don't understand Baccarat. Well, I do understand it, I just don't like it. You know? I do love a Lou. I totally, you know, it's like that's the way I feel about loads of that sort of creation. About those kind of about loads of that shit. It's all front and bullshit, you know what I mean? Bronick says, is there any other way to support you, or is PayPal the only way? I don't want to use PayPal because PayPal's long history of speech-chilling actions is against its users. I don't know. Coffee? You can, if you click that, buy me a coffee, I don't know that you have to use PayPal to use that. If you don't want to, it's sound, I understand. Like, it's calm. Nobody has to give. It's cool. Like, I'll leave the link there for people if they want to, but I don't like to solicit. You know? I just don't. Other people have made a joke thing out of it. Other people have made, like, a thing where it's like, and that's fine. You know? That's sound, but if you would like to, I would appreciate it greatly. If you don't want to, I appreciate that as well. Parfum de Mali and Initio can suck my large toe. They are awful, says Saab. Correct. Nice to see you as well, Andy. Andy, how are you? I hope you are well. I'm glad you recognise it too, says Lovaloo. Well, I do. Fernando Milan says, I have one Mona Diorio creation, but for Laurent Mazzone, Ambra Muscadin, weird piece. Mona died too young, didn't she? She's in her 40s. Just think of some of the other stuff she could have done. All like that. Honestly, right? That fucking queer is absolutely brilliant. Like, it really is a fantastic perfume. I think I wore it. Was it earlier this week or last week I wore it? I think it was last week. It just smells smart. It smells like grown up, and it makes you feel fucking mature in a good way. Not old. Like grown up, like you're in charge. You know? Andy says, I will never buy Bois 1920 or Bond number 9. Screw them. Good man. Although I own a fragrance from each of those brands, I will not buy any more. I actually bought New Harlem off Peter Kokorin, and I'm very happy to own it. I've wanted that fragrance for years. Big Tonka. Big Tonka fragrance is by far their best release. By far their best release. I mean, it's not a high bar, you know. Apparently the Andy Warhols are really good. Apparently the Andy Warhols, I've just read Alan's comment. Are you against dupes like Armaf and Lattafa? Yes, vehemently. Clones are theft. You are stealing someone else's property. That said, I understand why people buy them. I don't give people a hard time for buying them anymore. Because of the state of designer and niche perfume now. Prices are fucking disgusting. And it's gouging. They're not doing it in line with inflation. It's gouging. They are being greedy, and there's nothing else to be said for it. If you wear clones, fair play. Now, you won't find me recommending clones, but I now understand it. You know, I understand it now. I get because I'm absolutely disgusted with brands like Chanel, like Dior, like Tom Ford, like YSL, like fucking Creed, especially Creed, putting their prices up over 10% a year. The price rises almost every year are mad. If you've been buying fragrances, say you buy the same fragrance, fucking what is it, right? About 6, 7, 8 years ago, Tom Ford's Noir Extreme was about 80 quid. It's about 140 now in stores. That's not inflation. That's done that. Inflation hasn't been double digits for 4 or 5 years. That is price gouging, which is why I now don't give people. Used to see comments from me whenever there was an air clone video and I saw it, I would go in and I would leave the remark, the clones are theft. And if anybody disagreed, if anybody bollocks to them, you know, just wanted to go in and remind everybody that you're wearing a fucking, you are wearing, buying, funding, stolen goods, basically. I don't feel that way anymore. But I wouldn't ever buy a clone. Just me. Personally. That's a personal sort of thing. I don't judge anymore. Don't have the right, don't feel the way, don't feel the need. I find it very, very, it would be very sanctimonious now. Not great. Of me to go around telling people not to wear them. The state, And it's the design houses, it's the niche houses, it's the big houses that make all this fucking money, that have brought the need for clones. It's their own fault. Hubris, greed. There's nothing new there at all. So if you want to wear them, fair play to you. I understand. You know, I wouldn't recommend it, but I understand it. That was another rant, wasn't it? Jesus Christ, sorry. There's a couple of Bond number 9 that I enjoy, says Fernando. Great Jones and the Musk one. Very decent, actually, both of them. Well, the Andy Warhol one was supposed to be really good, like. The Plummy one. And then there's Bleecker Street, which is meant to smell like grass. But I've got original vetiver. Plus, if I wanted one like that, I'd get Moan by Hendley. Hendley's a brilliant perfumer. I think he's really good. Like, genuinely good. There's very few indie perfumers who are, like, particularly good. I think he is actually genuinely really good. Sorry, I know that everybody wants to support, like, small business and the one, like, and I understand that as well. But if you're saying, like, oh, you, like, particularly good, not really. Very few indie perfumers are like, high quality. I think he is. I'm just shitting on everyone today, aren't I? Jesus Christ, sorry. I think the zoologist sample set has been my favourite sample videos you have done, says Dino. Out of your sample videos, I mean. No, I get what you're saying. The zoologist thing was really, like, interesting and rewarding. DJ says, have you tried Henley's Bloodline? Yes. It's one of the best fragrances I've ever smelled. That is some shit, that. That is fucking brilliant. The version, I know he does different versions and it's natural material, so it's going to be different yet. Yeah, the version I smelled was fucking sensational. One of the best raw materials I have smelled, that. Smelled like, do you know when the sun sets, red sky at night, do you know, like a red sunset, like a blood red sunset? That's what it smells like. Oh, it's gorgeous. I wish somebody would call me a brilliant queer, says Alan. I think you're a brilliant queer, mate. Powder Mizu says, what is your top 3 house that is overpriced? Good quality, but overpriced. Loads of them. Most of them. Chanel. Most of them are like that, to be honest. Good quality, but overpriced. Might wear and taste tomorrow, says DJ. Jason says, do you think you'll ever burn through your collection? I've come to a point in age where I think that I'll start churning through my treasured ones just so I get to enjoy them. My stash is nothing like yours. So I'm thinking now, I had never sold anything. I'd had an eBay account for 10 years. I'd never sold anything until earlier this year. Now I've sold about 15 perfumes on there. I intend to sell, and I intend to be quite harsh and sell quite a few of my perfumes, actually. I've got a bottle of the Moon that I've been trying to sell for fucking months. I'll just leave that up there until somebody buys it. What I'll do is I'll keep it the same price, and every year Frederick Mall will put their price up, and I'll be happy to just get my money back. I paid $4.50 for it. That's what I've got it up for. It's retailing at $5.50. I intend to whittle mine down to my loves, which is, I say I intend to whittle them down. I still want to have a good collection. I still intend to have a good collection and a wide variety, because I like being able to pick from a wide variety of fragrances. But I do intend to let a lot of fragrances go, including the backups. You know, I got some rare stuff. I'm not gonna sell. I'm not gonna buy. I'm not gonna wear. I'm not gonna wear. You know. So I don't think that you should just hoard for the sake of hoarding. Although I used to feel like that. I was buying stuff up because I felt like I was going to fucking save it for posterity. Do you know what I mean? The fucking mad mental gymnastics that you put yourself through to try and justify your fucking thing. And it's a personal thing. It's something that I do. You know what I mean? I'm not a hoarder per se, but I am a collector. I stopped just short of hoarding, but there's I would like to let more things go. I was getting more pleasure out of selling things than I was from buying things at one point. Do you know what I mean? But it's not as easy as just like putting stuff out there and getting rid. There's some stuff I would just give away, straight up give away as well. So it's not necessarily about the money. But I've got a hell of a fucking back catalogue to fucking to get through. I've got all the time in the world, and the fragrances that I own, a lot of them are only going to go up in value. So I'll do all right. You can ask people who I've sold to as well if they're like mates and stuff like that. I'll just sell them at cost. I'm not about making money off me mates. You know what I mean? I am about making money off strangers on eBay though. Do you know what I mean? Strangers who come along. Some fucking bloke the other day sent me a message and I was put my fucking nose out of joint with this fucking message, right? Let's read it to you. Fucking cheeky little bastard. Right? It was a message about some selling. Here it is. A fucking horse, Steve. All right. I'm selling a splash bottle of Koros Eau de Sport. It's made by Charles of the Ritz. I'm selling one of them. I've got like 3 or 4. I'm selling one of them. Right. Got it up for 160 quid. The next cheapest one is 220. It's a good price. You know? It's a good price. Got a message off somebody. Hello, bud. What would you consider best offer on this? I don't normally go for unboxed vintage, but as you say, this is rare as hen's teeth, and you're obviously a fellow frag heed, so I reckon it's probably been looked after. So what's your best price, mate? And I said to him, 140. You know, I fucking got back to us. Dickhead. Fucking what's your best price, mate? I've got it up for 160 quid. What do you think my best price is? Bidders? Bell End? It's 140. I always put like people can make offers, and it's obscene some of the shit people come at you with. So all right, I've got this Koros Eau de Sport up for sale. Right? I've got this Koros Eau de Sport up for sale, right? I'll tell you what 2 of the offers on this fucking thing were, right? Absolutely outrageous. Bearing in mind it's 160 quid I've got it up for. Fucking little bastards. Where is it? Yes, I know you've changed your fucking terms, you shithouses. 8 watchers as well, you know. Loads of people. All right. Completed. Right. Here's one. One person offered 70 quid. I've got it up for 160. One person offered it for 70 quid. Automatically declined. The lowest bid I would accept was 140. All right. And some absolute dick house, some fucking bell end, right, offered us £50, 50 quid for a bottle of fucking Koros Eau de Sport. It smells as fresh as a daisy. It's from Manouche. It's as fucking pure as the driven snow it is. I don't know why I'm selling it. I know why I'm selling it. I want to put it out there. You know what I mean? I like spreading the love. I've got a good bottle. I've got a good thing. It's a good price. I'm making a little bit of money on it, but no, I'm not like fucking doubling and tripling me money. You know? Fuck me. And it's cheaper than all the other bottles on eBay. Why are people offering 50 quid for it? It's a third of what I've got it up for, you fucking helmet. People are shit. Nice to see you too, my brother, says Frank. Says Saber Replay. Lovaloo says, did you hear about Tom Ford selling his brand to Lauder? Yes, I did. All gone. I think if he just walks off into the sunset. I know his partner's died. I know he's 61 years old, though he doesn't look a day over 35. Fucker looks younger than I do, and I'm not joking either. I'm 37. That fucker looks like he's about 35. But I think he's just going to go off and enjoy his retirement. And I know he's, because he was with his partner for 30 years, you know. That's better than like until death they do part. And the bloke did die, you know. Very sad. You hate to hear about shit like that. The bubbles are back. I didn't I don't know what happened, but I didn't have an option to put the bubbles on. I do own an old bottle of Bleecker Street, but I could live happily without it, says Sob. Yeah. Bond number 9, if they didn't have their heads up their arses and price themselves in the 1 to 200 range. See, I just don't like their fragrances, mate. I just don't like them. I think they're the worst niche house in the world. But I agree, if it would be a lot less egregious. It would be a lot less egregious. It would be a lot less aggravating if they didn't price their perfumes at obscene prices. The new New Harlem cost like what, $400, $500? Piss off. You tried Henley's Bloodline? Yes, I've covered that. It's fucking still brilliant though. DJ says, don't worry, Mitch, I feel the same way. Too many people are easily entertained by some pretty shit perfumers, in my opinion. Yeah. There are some people who... I don't know whether it's a stylistic thing or it's just a fucking... Some people just shouldn't be doing it. I just don't think perfuming's for them. And yet, they still crack on. Now, I understand you've got a passion for it, but don't try and charge fucking money for stuff that's absolute dog shit. What we got here? Powder Mizu. It's hard for the majority of newcomers who want to build their collection with tight budget to force themselves buying designer these days while the dupes are in Supreme giving them options. Yes. I totally understand. And discounters aren't what they were either. When I started shopping from discounters, you could get Creeds for like 130 quid from a discount. I got like 2 bottles of Green Irish Tweed from discounters for like, I paid like 250 quid for the pair, 260 quid, and there were 120ml bottles as well. You can't get Creeds at discount. Well, you can get Creeds at discounters now, but they're retail, because the retailers are fucking, like, the companies got onto them. Used to be able to get Parfums de Marley at under 100 quid at discounters. Now they're fucking, like, they're selling them retail. You know what I mean? Discounters are just online shops now. It's bullshit. The fall of discounters, the rise of fucking prices in general. Bollocks. Good evening, Rich and chat. Good evening, Adam D. Powder Mizu says, so they can still be a fragrance lover no matter how many budget they have, as long as they have more money. As they have more money to spend, I'm sure that they buy the OG eventually. I'm saying what my point I was talking about before is that I don't judge people who buy fragrances anymore. That buy clones anymore. I don't judge people like that anymore. Judging people is not a good thing to do anyway. So that was a bad thing to do, and I'm fucking shouldn't have done it, and I'm sorry for fucking doing it. I'm not apologising to anyone in particular. I'm just sort of like putting it out there in the ether. I shouldn't have done it. But selling them, making them, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with making fucking clones and dupes and stuff, but I understand it. You know? Sticking something in a GCMS machine, reverse engineering it, and then fucking selling it and passing it off as your own. We're not even passing it off as your own work. You know? Just duping it. I just don't. I don't see how the people who are advertising these things can like consider themselves as having credibility. You know, you're selling something that you're selling like property fucking theft, basically. I see you, Dino. It's not a controversial topic. It's only controversial because so many people like them and they don't want to be made to feel guilty for that. What I'm trying to say is that I'm not about trying to make people feel guilty for buying them, because I understand it because of the price of perfumes that aren't worth those prices. The perfume houses need to fucking sort their lives out. You'd be fucking they're scalping. They're fucking gouging. They're fucking whatever you want to call it. They're charging too much. DJ says, don't be a hoarder and just stare at bottles. I'm guilty of that as well. Ish. Use your stuff or sell it. Don't keep for the sake of keeping. Unhealthy mentality. I've offloaded more than $1,000 worth of stuff myself. I've offloaded more than $1,000 worth of stuff, mate. That's like it's getting to like a couple of grand. I would like to. I need to go through my collection and like find stuff that I actually want to sell. Got to remember, how long does it take you to get through a bottle of fragrance, especially when you've got a lot of fragrances, you know? It is an unhealthy mentality. But at the same time, the problem with perfumes is that they get reformulated, you know? So if you say I've got tobacco oud, right, and they've stopped selling the 100 mils, they don't do 100 ml bottles anymore, right? I've got quite a few 100 ml bottles of tobacco oud, and I love that fragrance. I wore it this week. It's probably my most worn fragrance over the last 4 or 5 years. That and Pavarotti. Beautiful. Love them. And it's like, I would rather wear those. I'd rather wear those more often and get rid of the experimental stuff, the stuff I don't wear as much, the stuff I bought so that I could just smell it blind buying stuff that I don't like. Yeah, I'm just thinking of letting shit go, to be honest with you. There's no guarantee it'll sell, though. That's the thing. I've had a few fragrances up I thought would have sold by now, and they haven't. Powder Mizu says, I know it's just some things I notice people here do who doesn't like affordable option to expensive item. Fellow Frag Heed. Little ballers get no love. I offloaded stuff to fund my loved houses. It's a good shout. Manly Sense says, I once got offered $50 for a sealed 50ml tin can of Reeve Ghost. Eish. Bronick says, I seen your Ko-fi profile, but there is donation only through PayPal. Can you add super chat donation on YouTube Live? I can't, mate. I can't monetize my channel. Sorry, mate. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't fret. It's cool. I appreciate the thought. It's probably a scumbag Etsy store owner. Tom Ford has money for HGH to keep himself young. That is alleged. You will get us sent to prison because he's got enough money to do that as well. I was selling a gifted 150ml DHI for 90 and a bunch of bros offered 50. When I mentioned the retail, he was like, I am not a boutique. Fuck him. Yeah, fuck them. Exactly. 150ml of DHI. That's a lot of DHI. I don't think there's any need for that. I don't think there's any need for 150ml, and 90 quid's a fucking great price, to be fair. I think Tom Ford might focus more of his time directing films. Have you seen his films? They're pretty good. Yes. Yes. Yes, you're right. Maybe he will. Maybe he will get into that. I hope he finds love again. I hope he doesn't just... Because, like I say, he's been with that bloke for years. You know what I mean? He's been with his other half. Forget that it's a bloke. He's been with his fucking partner for years. and now that person is gone, and they'd been sick for a while as well. Spent the best years of his life, what he would consider were the best years of his life, his younger life, grown and everything they'd seen together, and now he's gone. You know, now he's selling his brand. He's going through a time of change, and he's going through a time of like pain. It's and he seems like a decent sort as well. He doesn't seem like a fucking mad fucker like fucking half of the fucking fashion designers are. You know, he's quite shy, quite like, I don't want to say reclusive, but private. That video of him and Jeremy is absolutely haunting. Wesley Garlick says, "Good morning, Rich. Good morning, Wes. I've met Wes." Scent of the day is Greek Horse by Alexandria Fragrances. Greek Horse, eh? Should have just called it Trojan Horse, surely. Say that, DJ. Not DJ, Dino. Some of the clone dudes don't even use the machine, just pre-made oils from the Middle East. Lol, says DJ. About 800 ml is on discounters right now for $335 USD plus tax. Is it worth it, Duck? Which discounters is it on? Asking for a friend. I don't know that it's worth $335 USD. I don't know what the retail is in the US. I paid like $250, $230 for mine. $215. I think on average it probably works out about $235 a bottle. DJ says I gave away my Reeve Ghost for free. That's what I think of it. I think it's overrated. I think it's overrated for what it is. Lovely, but it's overrated. It's not as lovely as what people say. Loverloo says, "Love Nocturnal Animals. A Single Man is sweet too." Great stuff. Yes, Nocturnal Animals. Didn't want a single man win an Oscar. I let Tom Ford be my sugar daddy. Yes, I'd go gay for pay, says DJ. Powder Mizu says, "I don't think that's right because those pre-made oil are really bad. No way I could see them using it. You'd be surprised." DJ says, "Some of these clones of Smalt are awful and nowhere near what they're trying to clone." Yeah, I see people say one-to-one bro all the time. People just stand for shit for the sake of standing for shit. I hate to use like the word like stan. It's very, I feel like I'm not the type of person who uses words like that, but do you know what I mean? It's like, fucking stop talking shit. You know? Jesus. Like, it's always the people who don't know what they're talking about who are most convinced of what they're talking about. You know? Crikey. Powder Mizu says, "I could not testify about clone versus OG similarity percentage, but those pre-made oil is a cancer." Yikes. Nobody wants cancer. I'm getting tired, ladies and gentlemen. It might be time to end the bubbles. It's been an emotional stream. In fact, yes, now that I think about it, I am actually considerably tired. Thank you for joining me tonight. It has been a good stream. I feel like I vented again. I vented the other night too. Yes, Gucci Nobile and Reeve Ghosh were both under Tom Ford direction, as was M7. Do I want to say Body Chorus? Richard, are you going to watch the World Cup? Yes, because none of the other football's on. Fuck Qatar, by the way. Fuck Gianni Infantino as well. That scandalous bastard. Some of the shit he came out with today, the fucking mad fucker. Whatever you think about what he said, it was just completely fucking bonkers. Like, normal people don't talk like that. And just look up what he said. Gianni Infantino. The mad bastard. Fucking idiot. Anyway. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Thank you to everybody who commented and watched and lurked. Thank you to everybody who has liked the stream. And thank you to anybody who has donated. Bronick, don't worry about not donating. It's calm. Don't worry. Fernando says, Body Chorus too? I had no idea. Yeah, he was there at that time. So it must have been him. I love Body Chorus. It's lovely. I don't wear it enough. Fernando says, Benzema won't play anymore. Yeah, he limped out of training, didn't he? Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I will see you all again soon, hopefully. I'll do my fragrance rotation tomorrow. That's something to look forward to. Maybe it's another stream if I'm feeling like it. But anyhow, good night, lot. Ta-ra.